Hello and welcome to the fourth installment of our announcement videos. ZillionGrid Node Launcher is next. We announced a beta program. You can connect your own server to the grid and eventually, not right now, eventually get rewarded with crypto automatically. So, the ZillionGrid beta program, the Zillion Node Launcher is the project name. And what is our objective? You might or might not be familiar with this world grid that we announced about a month ago where you can connect your server. We talked about the different classes A, B, and C. Here you will see all the servers come up as they come online. And we measure storage available, storage used, total hash power, total CPU power. In short, it is a resource infrastructure. And again, on top of that, you have APIs. You can tap into it as a programmer. And we have also a software factory, turnkey software solutions based on the ZillionGrid infrastructure. So, quickly, how will a setup look like? You can't do it in 5 minutes. You cannot do it quickly. This is not an instant moneymaker. There are other coins for that. What we do is we build a global resource, a decentralized resource network, where anybody can add their own server resources, and through smart contracts to shared mining rewards to master node setup, you can generate recurring revenue. That is our objective. So, how do we go about it? First of all, the install procedure that I'm showing you is a beta, so this will be automated in a total package. Right now, you have to be familiar with command lines, install procedures. This is a rather big install. It is not a quick program. It is not an app. It is a server resource. So, what we have so far is, first of all, this version will run on a GUI, so no command line yet. We will have that later. It runs on the Linux desktop. It runs on the Windows 10 for now. We also add more versions, but right now we have Linux 18 preferred, but we also do 16. We have tested it on 14 and 19, but let's say Linux 16 with desktop. Okay, you need it because it's a GUI. Or Windows 10, that is a separate document. Today we demonstrate, or we announce the Linux version. So, you have to install Java, and these are the preparations. Again, this is not a manual, this is just an announcement so you can see whether or not this is for you. So, once you install Java, you install the Zillion browser, which is our gateway to everything that we do. Install programs, applets, applications, login, communications, all is through our Zillion browser, so you need to install that. So again, the install commands, once you have it running, our Zillion browser will come up. You have to, so these are the browser screens, you have to create a Zillion login. Normally, the login goes with your cell phone, Android for now, but for this, to make it easy, you can do it with an email and a password. Later on, only cell phone, smart QR code login. So once you have the login, you go through the registration, you have a login, it links it to your phone number and it links it to your email and your password, creates a unique identity. We store the hash on the blockchain, so you have your proof of identity that you use throughout the grid. Once to get there, you need to have a valid email address, you need a token. We are doing this legally, which means no illegal stuff, no Silk Road, nothing of that. This is application, this is business, this is making money the right way. So, your email verification token, you put it in, your email, your grid profile is being created. With that, you can log in. You log in and you have access to the ZillionGrid application store. That's of lack of a better word. So here we say we're coin independent, so we have multiple coins here. This list will continue to grow as we expand, but we don't promote any coin. We're not a coin. We are an infrastructure that is technology agnostic, which is coin agnostic. Any platform, any coin, any language, we are not locking ourselves into one particular market corner. So here we have, eventually, these are the applications. People can, rate it. It shows the usage. Eventually it shows the revenue that it generates. So this is a very early version of this. You might not like the way it looks. Don't worry about it. Once we have the final or the public kickoff, we will have hopefully resources to do some cool designs. So don't stay stuck on that. So the applets, that is for later. They're just there. A few of them are there. It relates to your server install, your server management, your server health tracking, and things like that. So to add your node, we need your MAC address, your system name that will show up in the grid, your IP address, and then the country and the continent that you connect from. Okay? These are not publicly visible, only visible to you. So here you can have multiple servers. You can have your own password to enable to view your IPs and MAC addresses, things like that. So that is your interface on how to register it. Before you get here, you also need a server key. Each server will get a unique key, and I'm scrolling through this quickly so this video isn't too long. But this is your server registration key, uniquely to your server, that validates it. So you get a server agent key that runs your server agent on your local machine, that connects to the grid, and it kind of sends the metrics. How available is your server? How much storage do you have? How much storage do you have available? If you are reaching your limit and you're not adding or updating or whatever, then you are getting a lower priority for transactions, because they're all connected to the API. You get rewarded via masternode, shared block rewards. You get rewarded by transaction, and you get rewarded by a couple of other different metrics. So we want a fast network. If you have a 486 somewhere or a Pentium, forget about it. If you do a Raspberry Pis or whatever, forget about it. This is decent, real server resources that we're trying to get to a high-performing grid that is available at all times, that is decentralized, encrypted, and secured by the blockchain. You can do microtransactions, you can sell, you can have subscriptions, all things like that. So, your server registration key uniquely to your server that identifies it, so not everybody can add to the server. And then you have server management. We install SQL, we install MySQL, we install Tomcat for the API. So, as you saw in the white paper, this is the first generation of the grid. We have 3 generations that we plan. The first generation is more what we look at, a distributed environment. Then we switch to a peer-to-peer environment, and then to a pure blockchain infrastructure. So we have a couple of phases to go through. This is the first phase. I'm not debating on whether or not it is this or that. This is what we're doing right now. We know that there are additional steps that we need to take to come to a fully decentralized environment, but we have to start somewhere, and this is our first launch. So if we look at it, a couple of properties that you need to configure as far as local server resources. You need to be aware of what you're doing, because if not, it's not going to work. So the idea is that you contribute server resources, you get paid in return. Again, you see, this is more I would say, a higher level of knowledge that you have to put into it. It's not just installing an app and then see the money come in. You really have to monitor, you have to watch it. You become a node operator. Eventually, through our university, we'll have certificates. We have certification programs where you can learn it, where you can demonstrate your knowledge, and you can move up as far as knowledge and your contribution. That's it for this video. Much more to come. Exciting times. Thanks for watching.